Mellissa Thomas here for Florida National News, coming to you from the Turkey Lake rest stop on Florida's Turnpike, where Governor Ron DeSantis is delivering news that not only here at Turkey Lake, but several stops along the Florida Turnpike have new electrical car charging stations. As you can see behind me, we've got Tesla cars and some electrical cars. There's one from Chevrolet here as well. But this comes as great news for those who have electrical cars and have always been concerned about charging their cars for long trips. But stay tuned right here at FloridaNationalNews.com for the full story.
I'm proud to announce that Florida's Turnpike will have level 3 fast charging stations at each of its service plazas, with construction beginning by the end of the year. Currently, only 3 service plazas have charging stations, including here at Turkey Lake. And when you look at electrical vehicles, part of the issue is they had not been terribly affordable for a lot of middle-income folks. They're becoming more affordable, but I think people also, want to have the same access to make sure they can charge and get around the state. And so we're sensitive to that on the Turnpike. So the Turnpike, we're moving on that. And we have several companies here who are contributing to the effort: Florida Power and Light, Duke Energy, Nova Charge, Green Lots, and Tesla. And we want to thank them and want to continue to work with them. In 2018, Florida, like many other states, became a beneficiary of the Volkswagen emissions settlement, and as a result has been allocated $166 million to improve air quality. So the goal is, as you see, what we're doing on the Turnpike now, we want to be able to have similar fast charging stations across all of Florida's major highways. And so if you're driving from 95 from Miami to Daytona Beach, you can rest assured, get off an exit just like you get gasoline, you're going to have the ability to have access to this. And so,
here at Florida National News, just piggybacking off what you said, how gratifying is it for you to see it done now, especially in charging stations like this going forward?
Well, it's good. I mean, I think that, I've had some friends through the years who've had electric vehicles, and, one of the things that they had concerns about was, if they're just driving locally, they can charge it at their house, a lot of times even at their work now. But if they're going long distances, they didn't always necessarily know where the charging was going to be. You have it on the computer or whatever. Oh, good save. Well, so in Florida, I think, once we do this and then do this mitigation settlement, if you have a trip, you're going to drive 200-300 miles, you're not going to have to worry. I mean, there's definitely going to be a place. It's just like if you're getting in your car now, I don't worry if I'm driving from Tampa to Daytona Beach on I-4 that there's no gasoline. Obviously, you get off at the exit, you're going to do it. So I think it's good, and I think that will kind of remove maybe one disincentive for people to go electric, and I think that it'll be good for the state.
Had it not been for those funds through that settlement, would this have even been possible?
So we had already within the DOT looked at where are the areas that we've got some kind of holes, right? Interstate 75, if you kind of put it out on the map and you kind of do a little research of who has them in some of the private sector, you can see it's pretty good coverage. There are some areas that has a little bit. And so I had been working with the team to say, hey, how do we close this gap a little bit? Do we work in a partnership? Because we had already had an initiative here at the Turnpike, as you heard, that started it, and we wanted to expand that. So these 300 miles has that capability. So it's, again, we had already started it, but this obviously helps propel, right? Helps to kind of move it forward and getting it to get some relief earlier.
And what was the process of getting those partnerships together?
Well, we're still doing early. It's still very early on. As you heard from the governor and the DEP secretary, we're going to work on a open procurement to help get that out there with our private sector partners. But clearly they'll see the benefit as we do, and so we'll be working with them on that.
I think it's important that we do the Turnpike stretch here. I mean, this is a heavily traveled road. This is actually a state road under his control. So again, this is a good place to start. This is the right place to start. And then we can backfill on 95 and 75 and I-4. But I think this is the perfect place to start.
Give us your thoughts on, the convenience of having this charging station here at the rest stop.
Oh, it's real convenient. I go back and forth to Tampa quite a bit, so It's a nice stop on there. Actually, I was just in South Orlando, so I thought I'd just top it off a little bit before I got home.
So as we heard from the governor, this is the first of 3 rest stops that already have charging stations. The remaining 7 are to come to fulfill all 10 rest stops along the turnpike. And once that's completed, they will begin expanding out to the 95 and to I-4. The governor wants these charging stations from Central Florida, north to south, as well as east to west, going from Tampa to Daytona as well. But stay tuned right here at FloridaNationalNews.com for our continuing politics and power coverage. This is Mellissa Thomas coming to you from the Florida Turnpike.